Ehud and King Eglon, Judges 3, verse 12 to 30. You may think there is not much good to say about war, but the book of Judges, chapter 3, explains that out of something that is so awful, there can be a positive side.
The people of Israel had sunk into many sinful ways, so God allowed different nations to invade, rob, and rule over them as a punishment.
But at the same time, God still loved the people of Israel and raised up different warriors and leaders known as judges to lead the nation back to Him.
One of these warriors was a man called Ehud. The Moabites had been oppressing the Israelites for 18 long years when Ehud came on the scene.
The Bible says Ehud was raised up to be a deliverer. He was from the tribe of Benjamin and stood out from the crowd as he was left-handed.
One day, Ehud devised a plan to help his people be delivered from the cruel Moabites. So he set off with the tribute gifts demanded each year by Eglon, the king of the Moabites. The king had feasted so much, he was very overweight.
As Ehud was left-handed, he wore his double-edged sword on the right-hand side so he could draw it quickly. Before he met the king, he hid the sword under his garments so no one would see it.
Ehud arranged to see the king out in the open by some quarries. King Eglon was suspicious, but he saw no sign of a sword on Ehud's left side, so he was happy to come closer.
Ehud revealed the tribute gifts for the king, who was delighted to see the treasures. The king thanked Ehud for the tribute and was about to depart when Ehud called him.
I have a secret message for you,
said Ehud.
Meet me at my summer palace.
King Eglon replied.
Ehud walked into the king's summer palace on his own. The king was in his own private room.
Everyone, leave the room.
The king commanded. The door was closed, leaving just Ehud and King Eglon to share the secret.
Suddenly, Ehud pulled the sword out from his right side.
I have a message for you.
He announced.
A message from God.
Before Eglon could summon help, Ehud stabbed the sword into the king.
The wicked king dropped to the floor. Ehud went to the doors and locked them from outside. Then he made his escape.
Some of the king's servants began wondering why he was spending so long in his room. So they checked the doors and found them locked.
I wonder what's happening.
He must be having
a rest.
Yeah.
They concluded.
The servants came back later and used their keys to unlock the doors. They just wanted to check the king was all right, but he wasn't.
They were too late. Ehud was long gone and his daring plan had succeeded.
As soon as he returned to his own territory, he blew a trumpet to summon fighters to gather. A small army was quickly assembled.
Follow me!
Cried Ehud.
The Lord has delivered the Moabites into our hands.
In the battle that followed, over 10,000 Moabites who had been oppressing the Israelites were killed. Some of the biggest, strongest, and bravest soldiers in King Eglon's army were cut down. God gave his people a great victory over their enemies.
Without their big leader, Eglon, the Moabites were easy to defeat. They retreated and left the Israelites alone.
Thanks to the Lord and Ehud's leadership, Israel was not bothered by the Moabites for 80 years.